Let's talk about what you're going to need to be able to meditate each morning. First and foremost, you need to be comfortable. I do not want you struggling with physical discomfort and the aches and pains that can come with not setting yourself up properly. So first I'll just talk about floor setups and then other options beyond the floor. So for my body, and we're all different, you have to figure out what works for you. I prefer one of the shoulder stand fold blankets rolled into thirds, or I actually have at home a pranayama cushion, which is about this high, that's just right. So you may want to purchase a specific, cushion or a specific blanket that you're going to use for your meditation, or grab something you already have. Sometimes a combination of certain pillows from your couch works just right, or a favorite blanket that you know how many times you need to fold up to get the optimal height. So when you sit, the ideal is that your hips are higher than your knees and your knees touch the floor. And I do something, it's called Siddhasana, where one foot's on the bottom and the other tucks in on top. But if, lotus is comfortable for you, not for very many people, at least us Westerners, but should it be, that's an option. Half lotus is an option. Or a simple crossed leg shape. Anything that's comfortable is a go. But again, we want the hips higher than the knees. So sometimes it's just a matter of more elevation. So for instance, if I was here and my knees didn't come down, maybe sitting on a block would give me enough lift for my knees to descend, or maybe a fatter, more solid, higher cushion would work, or a combo cushion with a blanket. So start with that, and if you can create enough lift to sit comfortably where your thighs drop down and your knees touch the floor, excellent. You may not be able to. Sometimes, due to our hips, it doesn't matter how high up we come, the knees don't release down to the floor. So in that case, I would recommend 2 blocks, if you happen to have blocks. You can get cheap styrofoam or soft blocks, even at Target, anywhere these days you can get blocks. Or use what you have at home, 2 rolled up blankets, 2 rolled up towels, whatever. But find what's best for your body, just the right amount of lift. So this could be an option if no matter what, your knees don't touch the floor, support them. And then basically, once you have all of that figured out in your lower body, you need to be able to lift your spine. Okay, this is essential. We do not want to be rounded and collapsed. We want to move the top of the sacrum in, initiate that lumbar curve, and then be able to sit tall with the vertebrae stacked. Okay, so we're attending to the lower body so that we can be comfortable and grounded, and that sets us up to elongate the spine, right? So you will figure that out in advance. What do you need and where? How much, how little to feel good here? Now, in some cases, just sitting on the floor isn't going to work and it's not realistic and it isn't comfortable. No problem, use a chair. I would just recommend a very simple chair, not something too squishy that you sink into. A very simple chair like a folding chair, and sit approximately in the middle. Don't sink back, sit up very tall, and with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, hips width apart. So align the joints. Feet, knees, and hips, all hips width and aligned. Feet underneath the knees. And then the same principle, not sinking back, top of the sacrum in, and sit tall. Hands can be on your thighs. Okay, so that's a bunch of options, and you may want to play with it in advance to find out what really works for you. If you start off and something's a little bit uncomfortable, then 10 minutes into your meditation, it's going to be really uncomfortable. So that's just not helpful. We're trying to direct the mind, we're trying to go inside. That's challenging enough as it is. We don't need our hips aching or the low back aching or the feet hurting. All right, so do a little experimentation, figure out the right prop combination for you or the right chair for you so that when we begin, you're able to sit really tall and do your meditation practice. Namaste. Thanks, yogis.